S23 Cycle 5 Things You Must Know. Along with YK11, S23 is one of the SARMs that has attained a mythical status of sorts. So much so, that a lot of bodybuilders these days, who would have originally thought of adding an oral steroid like Anavar or Winstrol to their injectable cycle, are now considering adding S23 instead. Instead of Dianabol plus Test plus VAR or Deca plus Test plus Winnie, we have Test plus S23 producing nearly the same results. Of course, Dianabol will blow you up a lot more, so will Deca. But you can produce results that are pretty close to what you can achieve with that stack, with S23 added to the mix. S23 has all the classic traits of an oral steroid. Some people call it a jacked-up version of Winstrol. Others call it a high dose of Masterin, whereas there are a few who compare it with Andarin S4. Yet, it is considered to be a SARM that you must use with extreme caution. Else, it can leave you permanently shut down, or even worse, it can cause infertility. Did that get your attention? Here's 5 things that you must absolutely know before running an S23 or SHUT-23 cycle. 1. It is the strongest SARM in the world. S23 was developed from a SARM that was called C6. While C6 was pretty effective at selectively modifying androgen receptors, it was marred by poor oral bioavailability. Also, its binding affinity to androgen receptors was not as good as RAD140. So, researchers picked up C6 and made a couple of modifications to the chemical structure. Bingo! S23 was born. Not only did the bioavailability jump up from 72 to a whopping 96%, but the binding affinity to androgen receptors also increased manifold as well. This means that upon oral consumption, you get 96% serum plasma concentration without taxing your liver. Something that was only available with injectable steroids. To put this into perspective, one of the SARMs that is considered to be extremely strong by most athletes who use it, is RAD140. RAD140 has one of the strongest affinity towards androgen receptors, which makes it very potent at building lean muscle. In comparison, SHUT-23's affinity towards androgen receptors is 4 times that of RAD140. How's that for a strong anabolic compound? 2. It increases lean body muscle dramatically. S23 is the most powerful muscle-building SARM in the world. This stuff will blow you up. But it's not the watery glycogen-filled gains of LGD. It's not the minimal, lean muscle gain of RAD either. Think explosive muscle gains, almost on par with what you can get with low-dose trenbolone. That's not a comparison that we make easily. Most first-timers who use SHUT-23 as a standalone SARM and combine it with a diet that has a calorie surplus, and a good workout program that uses progressive overload, will end up gaining at least 15 to 16 pounds of quality muscle mass. Again, some people prefer gaining a load of water weight and calling it muscle. Others prefer staying lean, ripped while still gaining a load of muscle. If you are one of the latter, S23 will get you there. Also, this is a terrific compound to add to a cutting cycle. It helps mitigate catabolism and will definitely prevent muscle loss. Why it might even allow you to gain muscle even during extreme cuts. 3. It burns fat. S23 will burn fat in a dose-dependent manner. This means, the higher the dose, more the fat loss that you experience. The caveat is that the muscle-building effects do not dose-dependent. So, you'll have to find an upper tolerable limit where the results are better than the side effects and stick to it. This compound will allow you to do a complete body recomposition, without the need for any other compound. If you are lean, to begin with, then it will make you hard and feathered, the kind of look that you'd get from Winstrol or a high dose of Anavar. If you are holding some amount of fat and water on the belly, this stuff will torch it. Researchers believe that its fat-burning properties are indirect by means of increasing the basal metabolism. But being a very strong androgenic compound, SHUT-23 can burn fat directly as well. 4. It is the most suppressive SARM. It can possibly shut you down. The most dreaded S23 side effect is that it will suppress you greatly. All SARMs are suppressive. The moment the body detects an exogenous substance that's competing with testosterone to bind to androgen receptors, the pituitary reduces the production of LH and in turn, your endogenous testosterone levels plummet. But unlike most other SARMs, which result in a reduced LH production ranging from 20 to 30%, SHUT-23 results in a 50% reduction in LH production in a span of just 2 weeks. It's difficult to put a number to how much that will suppress your testosterone levels. But a rough estimate says that the suppression can be close to 75%. There are some users who have experienced a complete shutdown while using S23. This means that you can produce way better results if you run this with TRT or just a mild testosterone cycle. There are some users who run a SERM along with this to offset some of the symptoms of low T. Irrespective of how you choose to run S23, it's a given that you will need to do a PCT to regain normal hormonal function after you complete the cycle. Your body might recover without the PCT as well, depending on your current health. But if you are looking to retain the gains and to keep your physiological functioning normal after stopping the cycle, then a PCT is a must. 5. It can trigger androgenic side effects. Unlike other compounds like MK2866, which are partial agonists of androgen receptors and are tissue selective in their action, S23 is a full agonist and a very powerful androgen. This means that there is every possibility that you might experience mild to severe androgenic side effects. If this is the first time you are using S23, get ready for roid rage like aggression and anger. Most people are taken aback by how severe pronounced the aggression is, considering that you are using a SARM, not an AAS. Also, S23 can trigger an acne outbreak much like other powerful androgens tend to.